Good morning, everyone. It's Monday Live with MJ and Mr. Hermes. Rain or shine, we're just very thankful the sun is up, back on Monday. We're here again, your Monday Live, your source of good news, where we start our week on a brighter side. Our topic this week is about great habits. I know we talked about last week the compounding efforts, but what are we compounding? Are we compounding the dark side, or are we compounding the bright side? Because here we are moving forward with our great habits on your spiritual side, your emotional, your physical, and your social side, our social side. The one thing that I'm very proud to share with you this week is the homily of Monsignor 𝙘𝙺. Yesterday, he talked about making a difference for any individual that would affect their lives. Our spiritual habit, I would say morning prayer is very important, wherein we connect with the extraordinary being, always with gratitude. And each time we wake up, Sean and I would always ask, what are you thankful for? To start our day, clear our brains and our mind with something positive. Meditation. So towards the end of the day, when you feel tired about a work day, we kind of like sit down for 3 minutes or so, or 5, depending on how much time is allowed to meditate and discover our breathing and let go of our thoughts to really relax during that day. And lastly is our communion. Communion, a lot of us cannot really grow spiritually unless we do some kind of community, which is I recommend St. Monica, and there's a lot of live masses right now, and also there's a lot of group or yoga, something that you could relate, connect with people in spite of this pandemic. So we are not alone. We are here for you guys. So in case you feel alone, connect with us, and we'll be there for you. Zoom meeting is always available. We have Zoom meeting 24 hours. For our emotional side, which is really related to our intimate relationships that starts with ourselves. Let's see what can we develop in our great habits and emotional side. So we can do morning greetings for our loved ones, let's say through Zoom or social media, or even to our roommate, right? We can always say right words and good words to greet them, and live the golden rule. So what is the golden rule? Do not do unto others what you do not want to do to yourself. And it is really very basic right now, but we need to get reminded for that, right? And the third one is I want to emphasize on respect, on authority, and also our elders. So we have, right now in this pandemic, this concerns about our health and our family, our relationship. So we have to respect what the authority is saying. We have to stay home. Like here, we are staying home and sharing with you good news at our front yard. And lastly is self-control. I know that we always want to go out because it's been years, seems like it, that we got stuck here at home. But self-control, there's so many ways we could relate with other people. Contact us if you guys are feeling alone. Our contact information is always here in our YouTube description. So we are here for you. Our physical fitness. What is it that concerns us? Our body and our brain. So some great habits that I wanted to share are morning exercises, which we do stretching a lot, the yoga stretching in the morning. And of course this one, the Monday Live, before we do our Monday Live, we do walking or stairs if Santa Monica is already open, and really healthy diet. Sure that not all day we eat desserts. We also have to have that control. And good hygiene, of course, and healthy sleep. Good hygiene is very important right now to avoid that virus, right? Healthy sleep. I want to touch on this, really, the healthy sleep, because a lot of people take this lightly, that even our universities are teaching on this. Let's see, for instance, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago we talked about Stanford University releasing the study about the size of our brain. 7.5 EQ, the encephalization quotient, is that if we develop our cognitive skills, and part of our cognitive skills are actually developed, so we don't want to be like just dolphins, 5.3, and least be like 0.5 of that, the mouse. Even Johns Hopkins University supported the study that we have to really take care of our children right now, especially our teens. Our teens need more sleep than younger kids, because you know why? It is in this stage that they need 9 to 9.5 hours. So we have to understand and really discipline them if we need to, that they need that sleep in order to develop their second developmental stage of cognitive maturation. So this is where our brain is concerned, and at the same time our cognitive skills are developed during our teens. And not only Johns Hopkins say more about it, but also our Yale University. Spectacular health or spectacular sleep for our teens between 13 years old to 18 years old is from 8 hours to 10 hours. So do not take for granted the value of sleeping, guys, especially for our teens, and imposing that discipline if we need to for them, because they're the hope of our nation. We need to teach them at the earliest possible time how to develop their cognitive skills to rule and lead our world and our children's children. So lastly, I want to touch on morning reading, which is reading. And my best example for reading is, of course, the one and only Warren Buffett. You know, one of his hobby when he was young is that he read books in the library. At 7 years old, 7 years old, he's already finished reading all the books in the library. And he started trading at 11 or 12 years old, but he was just doing it for fun, because he read a lot of books and he had a lot of so much great information, which is a great habit. Power of 5-hour rule and 5 to 6 hours study rule. It's also available in YouTube. So, and of course, endurance. If you're working, if you feel like we cannot do this, no, keep on going. There is that good energy and good spirit. You have a purpose, so you have to keep on going. And our environment friendly side, which is for me like little littering or something that we could pick up to keep our environment clean, that is also a great habit. And of course, our money management, because all this, are you concerned that you didn't go to work after almost 2 months? Because if we have money management, that's out of the question. That's out of the equation. So let's hear from our money doc how we can take care of our money management side with Hermes.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? It is the 9th week of the quarantine. And what we were talking about last week, we were talking about compound efforts. And the compound efforts of whatever you're doing. Whether you're building a business, whether you're exercising, all those things, they compound. So one of the things I want to talk about today ties into that. How do you compound? Well, you start with your habits. So there's habits of getting up in the morning early, there's habits of eating, there's habits of exercise, habits of showering and all that, but the habits of money. So what are the habits of money that you could utilize today that can help you? Now, about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I was going through school, well, 20 years ago, I guess. And one of the things that always stressed me out was at the end of the year, buying gifts and travel and buying that $400 plane ticket to go to home or wherever I was going. And what happens was I wouldn't have enough money at the end of the year. And so what did I do? I needed to start saving earlier. And so one of the things I did was start saving a little bit at a time, because good habits leads to financial freedom. It leads to financial independence. So what are the things you could do? What if you just started saving $20 per week? That's what I did. I literally stuck it in a box. Every week I took out some money for lunches and things like that, and I put 20 right in there every week. I think it was like Monday morning or whatever I did it. Like clockwork, I did it every time. What does that add up to? Well, it's really only about $2.68 per day, which is only like 12 cents per hour. But what does that lead to? It leads to over $1,000 at the end of the year. You wouldn't think small little increments like that would build so much, what could you do with an extra $1,000? You know, I was actually able to not worry about having to do all the gift shopping or things like that, or paying bills at the end of the year, airfare. I had that covered, and I knew from beginning in January I wouldn't have to worry all year for that certain subject. So it's great, because what are you doing? Maybe you're buying some holiday gifts. Maybe you are building for an emergency fund. You guys, you really need to start building an emergency fund right away because of what we're going through right now. Even if you're doing it now while we're struggling, not working, maybe you're out of work, maybe you're getting unemployment, or maybe you got the PPP loan. What we need to do now is start saving. You need to save as little as possible or as much as possible. You just need to start. Because then when you start, you can build on that and build on that. And those are the habits you need to build. Or also maybe you're saving for retirement. You got to keep going for that retirement account, because it's so important that we build for our future. We save for our future. We can't just rely on the government. You know, we're going to do some talks in the future on how the government supports people, and you're going to be really surprised on how little they support or what the qualifications are. And that's not how you want to retire. You want to retire grandiose. You want to retire spectacularly, as MJ said earlier today. I just love that word. So one of the things that I love is how good habits can actually create confidence. And when you have confidence, what do? You can start securing funding. You can have finances in place. You can be confident in your exercise because you can afford that gym membership. And what does that lead to? That leads to investing. Either investing in yourself or investing in stocks, mutual funds, whatever it is. And then, of course, that leads to financial independence or financial freedom, which then is cyclical, because then it starts all over and builds on those great habits. And your good habits become great, which is how it should be. Now, one of the things that we talk to some clients about, and this is something that they struggle with in the beginning, is their relationship with money. You know, they don't understand if you save money, even if it's small, you can actually build confidence and financial freedom. Because what if you saved, let's say you're 30 years old and you start saving $500 per month. Now, it's not the $20 per week, which is $80 per month. We're talking $500, which is the equivalent of like an IRA or a Roth IRA. But you're putting that into an account and it's earning interest. It's compounded. We're going back to compounding. It's compounding its effect, let's say at 8%. Well, by the time you're 65, and that's the average time people are retiring, some people want to retire earlier, some never want to retire because they love what they do, that's going to give you over $1 million. People don't realize that $1 million is achievable. They just see it as this fictitious number they can never get. You just start saving early. Now, what happens if you start at 25 instead of 30? Well, just think, 8% from 25 to 65, compounded interest, you would actually have over $1.5 million. So, the $30,000 you saved because you didn't want to start saving between 25 and 30 cost you $500,000 plus. Now, is it really worth it to you to save a little bit now rather than having $500,000 extra in the future? And there's tax-free savings accounts, there's tax-efficient accounts we can talk to you about. This is just one example. But is it really worth it? Is it your savings or investing really worth it to delay? It's not. You got to start now. So one of the things we talked about, we really need to start investing in ourselves, invest in our future, invest in our kids. MJ was talking about investing in the kids' future with their sleep. Got to make sure that everyone stays healthy this time. So everyone, if you have any comments on great habits that you have that you could add to ours, we would love to hear from them. So put them in the comments, and our favorite habits we're going to actually announce next week. We'll talk about which ones we can highlight, and we're going to highlight your habits. Now we're going to do a little dance. We're going to build on the compound efforts from last time, and from the dance we did 5 weeks ago. We're going to do a reverse order, add some tunes. She's a great teacher. If anyone needs to learn how to ballroom dance, talk to us.
You might wonder why do I have this one. This is for usually when you turn, there should be an impact every time you turn, right? So just to watch this. I'm gonna be following you, leader.
If anybody doesn't know where to push the button to subscribe, just push the button at the bottom, subscribe, follow us, and we'd love to hear from you in the comments. And,
ciao everybody!